Hello again, this is John Wild, here to bring you a look at vintage action figures. Today we'll be looking at the 1979 Parker Brothers toy, ROM the Space Knight. ROM the Space Knight was a toy co-created by Scott Dankman, Richard C. Levy, and Brian L. McCoy. It was sold to Parker Brothers and was the inspiration for the Marvel comic book series. The toy was originally named COBOL after the programming language, but was later changed to ROM after read-only memory by Parker Brother executives.
The toy set a precedent for the game publishing company, which up until that time had only ever produced board games. This was a new venture for the company, and given that electronic toys were still very new, a decision was made to produce the figures as cheaply as possible.
As a result, the final product had very few points of articulation, and the twin red LEDs served as ROM's eyes instead of the originally envisioned green, which were more expensive to produce. ROM was licensed to Palitoy in the United Kingdom to extend the Space Adventurer line of the Action Man, appearing in their 1980 catalog.
To build interest in the toy, Parker Brothers licensed the character to Marvel Comics, which created a comic book featuring ROM. The comic expanded on the premise that ROM was a cyborg and gave him an origin, personality, set of supporting characters and villains, as well as interaction within the Marvel Universe. The comic was written by Bill Manto and initially illustrated by artist Sal Buscema. The series details ROM's defeat of an invading alien race known as the Dire Race, and the continuation of their battle on Earth. Landing near the fictional town of Claretown in West Virginia, ROM encounters a young woman named Brandy Clark. After seeing ROM deal with the race firsthand, Brandy comes to understand his mission and helps to hide ROM from prying eyes. This becomes necessary once ROM uses his neutralizer in public, as witnesses only see a killer robot disintegrating innocents. They do not realize that ROM is in fact banishing wraiths in human form. The comic book outlasted the toy which it was created to support. The series ran for 75 issues from December 1979 to February 1986.
As Marvel Comics no longer possesses the licensing rights to ROM from Parker Brothers, the character is not allowed to appear in his armored form. Marvel has found ways to work around this dilemma. Ultimately, the toy line failed and only sold 200,000 to 300,000 units in the United States, with creator McCoy blaming the failure on poor packaging and marketing. Parker Brothers subsequently abandoned the line.
And now let's take a look at the Parker Brothers toy, starting with the packaging.
Now let's take a look at the figure itself. First, the front side. And now the back. ROM the Space Knight came with the following accessories: power cord, translator, neutralizer, and energy analyzer. Now let's take a closer look at each of the accessories. This is the energy analyzer. This is the translator. This part is called the neutralizer. On the back of your ROM Space Knight figure, there was an on-off switch and two buttons. The example that you see before you, the buttons are missing. My example doesn't have them, so I have to kind of work around that. But this was the spot where you would control the functions of your ROM Space Knight figure. Now let's take a quick look at what those lights and sounds looked like. Now we'll switch ROM into flying mode. And the next feature we'll look at is the respirator This is what it sounds like when ROM is in his respirator mode. This is ROM using his translator. This is ROM using his energy analyzer. Now let's take a look at what it sounds like when ROM is using his neutralizer. Due to ROM's expensive price tag, fragility, and lack of articulation, the toy was considered a failure. But over the years, the memory of this unique toy have had collectors searching for complete and working examples. This has caused the price on this toy to skyrocket. Owning a ROM the Space Knight brings me back to the simpler times of electronic toys and how far we have come. That has been a look at 1979's Parker Brothers ROM the Space Knight. Thank you for viewing this video, and questions and comments are always welcome. Until next time.